What is up, duelists? It is August 31st. The ranks have actually reset for PvP because it's later in the evening here. And I want to jump in and talk a little bit about this past month of August and preview September a bit. Quickly, the channel has been very focused on Master Duel this month. I think I'll find a little bit better of a balance, especially with the events that we have coming up in September. So thanks for being patient. If you're more interested in dueling, do let me know in the chat. I'd be very curious to see what people are enjoying more and want to see more content on. But yeah, here to talk about Duel Links, and again, we're gonna see a lot more of Duel Links in the next month. Couple major things to highlight from August. First, we had the new selection box. I didn't find it too impressive, but I think Lost Wind is a really interesting trap card. You always have to take note whenever a card comes into the game and it's already on the limited list as it is. So I've been playing one in a few of the decks. I don't think I want more than that. I like with my limited 3 traps to kind of mix it up and vary because situationally, one is better than the other, or a lot of flexibility with stuff like that. So playing one, I think is notable, but I don't think that the box is too worth grinding over, especially where you can only use gems so often, and then you have to use real money otherwise. But I'm clicking into the shop here because as of today, 2 new things come out: a brand new bundle, one going into, I believe it was the Draco Berserker of Tenyi. Really, really good card. So definitely considering getting it. I probably will end up doing that. And then also World of Barian came out, the new mini box, which I think is super cool. I started to rip some packs into it. Gonna go through at least once. Really cool this came out because I was actually just finishing watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Exactly for the first time. Pretty cool show. Not the best Yu-Gi-Oh! In my opinion, but could talk about that in another video if people are interested. But I think really the highlights here being obviously the Utopia card, so there's a skill to go along with that, and getting these on the board I think can be very powerful. A new Blackluster Soldier, so I know we have quite a few of these now in the game. Curious to see if it gets played much. I think it might be a little bit, but I don't think it'll take over the meta. And I think the interesting one for sure is on the Toon cards, because we have Toon Blackluster Soldier as well. We have Comic Hand, which turns an opponent's monster into a Toon. A lot of flexibility there, so I think Pegasus can be quite popular in the next month, especially with the new ability to come out where you don't have to tribute summon 4 Toon cards. So you have your Dark Magician, now you have your Blackluster Soldier, you have Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes Toon Dragon, excuse me, in this box here. So a lot of different Toon cards you can play with it. Now on the card front, those are, I would say, the focal points of August to highlight. But I think in the bigger scheme, I think the big meta-changing event was just the ban list that came out. It took it one step further with Orchest, and Orchest was basically just out of the meta now. And the same thing with Speedroid. Didn't hit them too hard, I would say, but it's enough to knock them down, right? Because only a little bit of a knock on consistency can go a long way of just people saying, I'd prefer to play a different deck instead. And that's kind of where we are. So just to kind of look at the top decks being played, Destiny Heroes jumps up to Tier 1. I know I covered, I think, last week, a deck that was played in the World Championships on that. It's one of those situations where just what a deck is pretty good and then isn't touched by a ban list, sometimes it just jumps up to a higher tier and gets played more, because now it's the best one available, or one of them. Odd Eyes, Trickstar, Rocket, all Tier 2. Those have all been around for a while, especially Rocket. I think there's certain people that love it. I don't think it's just hands down the best deck, but if you're really skilled with it, it's a fantastic deck to play. I don't need to say anything more about Trickstars. I put a ton of videos together, and especially in Duel Links, they're fantastic. Odd Eyes, what more can you say? There is a build on kind of using Magistus, which I did talk about earlier this month, but again, no new decks there. And then Infinitrack, which had a little bit of a comeback with the new selection box, up to Tier 3. So something to keep an eye on. There were also new cards for Gimmick Puppet, which is seeing a lot of usage. Dark Magicians, which saw a lot of their cards come off the ban list, so they're getting a lot of usage. I think they're fun. I don't think they're fantastic, but when you get your anime decks into the meta, like your Blue Eyes, your Dark Magician, as of late, the game's always a little bit more fun. But yeah, all around, a lot of decks getting played. We can talk about Resonators, Tenyi, Crusadia, Gandora, your Synchrons. Gandora actually still considered Tier 2, but probably will change after the next tier list comes out. But things like Solomon Great, Speedroid, and now Tunes, even Elemental Heroes, Goki, still very playable. You have a lot of options. And I think again, when there's that many decks that are viable, I think the meta just in a better place. It's not fun to just play the same decks over and over. One deck that got loosened up a bit is Mech Knights, which I will definitely put some content together on. I don't know if it'll be my go-to. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the deck, especially compared to Master Duel, where in Master Duel, the winner of the coin toss gets to pick first or second, which almost guarantees that Mech Knights will be going second. What I mean by that is typically players do want to go first. So if they win the toss, they go first. If meaning I go second, and if I win the toss, then I go second. So it's really like 90% of the time you go second. Duel Links are just a coin flip. And the consistency of the deck is much lower when you go first, and you have to make sure you have cards that you can link summon to a link 1, and then have a spell or trap to put in the column to be able to summon something. So a bit less consistent in Duel Links. It was still tier 1, still a fantastic deck, but you just have to play it a bit differently. So we're going to have the KC Cup coming up, yeah, and I'm taking requests if there are decks that you're interested in seeing for Stage 1, which is usually fun getting from, I think it's like level 20 to level, or I'm sorry, level 10 to level 20. And I don't, especially through like up to like 17, 18, like you don't have to try too hard. You can play something fun. I might do something on Sacred Beast. I have a deck that you can use monsters that attack life points directly and then try to get a bit of protection. Couple things standing out to me there, but if there are any other requests, please do mention in the chat, and I can try to get at least a few duels in with them and have some fun. So that's the big thing on my mind. I'll probably put a video together outlining the probably like 3 or so decks that I'm considering playing through Stage 2 of the KC Cup. I'm already technically registered for Stage 2 because I was King of Games last month. And not going to have the most time to play like the weekend that the tournament is on, but I think if I can be pretty efficient, easily get top 10,000, which is very normal for me. I usually get, you know, around number 2,000. It has been improving, so, you know, I think within the next few, if I could get top 1,000, that would be fantastic, but often that means you, like, as much as you need to be very skilled, you also need to play a ton, which is going to be difficult for me. But that is kind of where I'm setting my goals and what I'm focused on, but I'm glad that I can play Duel Links next month and have content to put around the KC Cup and around just grinding the ladder. So stay tuned. Let me know if there's any requests on the content there, and appreciate you tuning in.